So we're in here trying to still work on everything, even though it looks like we don't have anything done, but I gotta show you guys something. You heard the crunch. I didn't look down and see that. I stepped on that and you heard me. Bro, you catching flies?
You are disgusting, right? Don't touch the dog. What's up, Lite Nation?
Hey, what's going on, Lite Nation? So we are here at DCD Customs, one of our favorite shops ever.
They're the ones that did the Hemi swap on our Jeep, and we are finally here to put the Ultra 4 car back together. Now, the next several days are going to be extremely hectic. We are on one hell of a time crunch, but we are going to do our best to go over everything with you, from the problems and the issues that we've encountered to the fixes and the upgrades that we're going to be making, and the compromises that we're unfortunately probably going to have to settle for due to time constraints. But before we get into all of that, first things first, you have to understand that this
is the current state of the Ultra 4 car. It is in pieces.
Guys.
There's literally nothing. There's no axles, there's no seats, there's no... a chassis and wiring right now.
Yeah, it's a chassis and wiring. There's so much that needs to get done, and we have zero time.
We have 7 days. We have 7 days before it has to be on the lake bed, and I still need to get it together, tune it, drive it.
Guys. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to go over this piece by piece as we get to it and try to show you as much of this as possible while also not wasting any time.
Yeah. So if you guys remember when we were practicing out at Johnson Valley, I snapped that front axle shaft while we were out there. So right then and there, well, within a day or two, we ordered these 40 spline inner shafts. We already had 40 spline outers, but we had 35 inners.
And you can
so
see
now
the
we're
difference.
going from this 35 to this 40 spline. Massive, massive difference in strength.
Dude, look, not just like,
yeah,
if we snap that,
we have issues.
We have a problem.
Yeah, so we're upgrading to that. And right now, all I did was I pulled off the outer off the 35, and we're gonna go ahead and start mating it to this inner, which is why we ordered these Yukon super joints. Now, we're already running a Yukon super joint, so I did order just rebuild kits, but while we were at it, I figured let's go ahead and just get new ones so they're fresh. Like, this might be our only time at Ultra 4. So these super joints are not for Jeeps. They're not for
daily driven vehicles.
Right. No, okay, they are for Jeeps. You can use them, but you need to use them on a trail rig only or a race vehicle, because you have to actually use this never sees. They don't have needle bearings inside the caps like a normal U-joint does. See how it's all completely smooth in there? That just simply slides on the trunnion and just spins on here using this never sees as the lubricant inside.
And what that means is you have a larger trunnion, which means you have significantly added strength. These are insanely strong, not going to break on us.
Now, some people want to use their U-joints as their fusible link in a suspension, whether it's the drive shafts or the front axle shafts. Sometimes people want to use U-joints as the fusible link. But when we're running this big 40 spline inner and outer and a Spider Trax housing, I mean, we're just trying to get rid of any kind of... If it breaks, it needs to it needs to be done. I want to look at it and be like, yeah. I don't want to be like, I broke a U-joint, now we have to figure this out. Anyway, so this is what you need.
What you're working on right now.
It's what I'm working on. I'm going to rebuild our old ones so we have them as backups, but we're going to go ahead and just install these brand new super joints. So we're all here multitasking. Chris is working on that. I'm taking this apart. Brittany's editing this whole time. So she didn't get me actually taking apart. What you saw earlier was me doing the long side. There's the old 35 spline long side.
You're not actually doing any work. What you don't know is Kevin just went and rubbed his hand
Yeah, I just found some greasy engine and I got my hand. No, but if you're doing U-joints, I do like this because I don't have to worry about the needle bearings falling out, or when you put the cap on, that you don't have to worry about messing up the needle bearings. It's kind of nice. But anyway, when you're putting this together, make sure you put your clip on one side first. You can't put it on both sides, otherwise it won't go in. But put your clip on one side. You gotta flip it over, and then you have to finagle. Gotcha. Oh, I went ahead and put a little anti-seize in here for right now, and then once I get it on, I'll put more in later. So these are press fit into here. Like I said, what's nice, I don't have needle bearings to worry about, so I get to just do this. So right now it looks like it's sitting all the way flush and that it's in, but it's not. You see the gap here between the two? Yep, it's in.
There we go.
So you see down here how it's sitting all the way in the groove.
Yep. Good job, proud of you.
Thanks, babe. And so that's pretty close to it. We have these little female guys that we're gonna put the grease in through when we service it. But for right now, I'm just gonna go and just do that to all of them. So I put a little bit in there to start it. We'll fill it up.
Sweet. We've got one of 30 million steps done.
Yeah. Okay, so we're making a little bit of progress. The rear is kind of done, sort of. We've got the new rear third member in by TubeWorks. That's all in with the new gears and everything. That's good. No fluid in there yet though. We have the shafts in there. But while we're back here, we did have a fuel leak. Whenever I'd fill it up all the way, there was fuel that would kind of come out around the fuel pump housing. And we found there was a strip bolt. And I guess what they did to try to quick fix was they stuck a rubber glove in there.
Found that.
And you can see the bolt, you see the holes through it where the bolts went? It's like, I'm pretty sure that's a rubber glove.
It's like they tried to use it as like a makeshift O-ring, basically.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Yeah, so we might, anyway, so this is the kind of stuff you find. Oh, look, there is some gasket there. There's some gasket right there, but this looks like it's just a rubber glove.
Just fix the strip bolt.
Like the fuel definitely tears that
God.
up. Yeah. So also we need a way to jack this up in case we get it flat, which we got Nindos. I'm not really too concerned with it, but we do have this hydraulic jack from Radflow. It's pretty neat. It's really lightweight, which is what I liked. It was super lightweight. We do have the ARB jack that we use, but that thing's like $900. And I don't know that I want to lose a $900 jack just somewhere on the trail. So this may be also a bottle jack, but this is super light. I mean, it's really lightweight, and it can kind of just mount sort of just in here somewhere. We hope. We'll figure it out. But that's pretty neat. And then right now we're working on the fire suppression system. So this guy is going to mount up under here underneath the gas tank. And what's cool about this is that it gets a pull tab inside the cab, and then we're going to do one nozzle back on the fuel tank and one nozzle in the engine bay. So in case hopefully nothing happens, if something does, she or I, either one of us, Brittany, you, we can both reach it and just pull it. It'll
full fire
extinguish,
suppression.
full fire
we're going
suppression.
super safe here because even though it's not normally something that we really focus on usually, the fact of the matter is that we will be out in the desert in the middle of nowhere
Alone.
with zero help from anyone else for potentially hours. So worst case scenario, we want to try to be as prepared as possible.
And we have 3 other extinguishers. So we have one inside that we can grab, the Kevin repellent here, and then we have one on each corner. So
Kevin repellent.
Thanks, Jake. Thanks, Jake, for those. We also have new Prp seat harnesses that are working out really well, except the bottom here, instead of a single submarine, it's a dual, and it won't hook up to this. We have a 6-point harness instead of a 5-point. So let me show you what I have to do for that, because this isn't going to work. So we need these little eye bolts, because the 6-point harness, we're going to have to put these kind of like this, and then it has clips that'll clip and clip. So that way we have our 6-point submarine, but we don't need those bolts. So
white snow, red sky, reach up for so high, blue eyes, fake cry, beware of the fox tonight.
sorry, let me be a little bit safer about it.
Since you're literally just talking about safety.
Cold feet, a dark rain, my blood in your frozen veins. Dream high, no pain, run fast in the broken chains.
So this is a 6-point submarine harness from PRP. So instead of having just a single strap up the middle, you actually get one on each side. So that way it kind of goes around hopefully your junk and not straight up the middle of it.
Around whose junk? My junk?
Not your junk. Well, I mean, it's still your junk.
Okay, now tomorrow we actually have a super secret errand that we have to run. That'll be in another video.
It'll be its own video.
It'll be its own video later. We got a surprise for you guys. But that means that we won't be here when they're working on some of the stuff here at DCD Customs in the morning. So we're going to show you some of the stuff that we're planning on getting done, and we'll show you the before. That way you can see the after.
Okay, so you can see that Chris got most of those fire suppression system done. There's the bottle mounted. You have the aluminum line running up into the engine bay. The seat brackets are not straight. The seat kind of sits this way at like 2 degrees, which 2 degrees doesn't sound like much, but it is 5/8 of an inch. It's over ½ inch, like leaning yeah.
Okay, so they're gonna fix the seat brackets and level those out. ADD.
And then we have the transmission crossmember. The transmission hits that crossmember right there, and it smashes those solenoids.
We explained that when we picked up the transmission.
Right, they're gonna have to notch that, box it in, kind of like they did back here for the shocks.
Yes, Sweet. Get. You tell. You tell. All right, and lastly,
The axle. Jelly, you gotta stop. Yeah, stop. So lastly, while we're gone, they're gonna come in and we're gonna kind of truss the axle here. I cleaned it up. This was already welded up, but it's still, anyway, we're gonna truss that. And then this side as well, there was a crack that formed that I got in here and cut to get deep into the cracks. And then you can see this side they already plated, but it's still cracking through that plate. Even here, this bracket right here was separating, so I cut into that so we can do that.
weld it up, truss it up, make it as strong as we possibly can. Hopefully, fingers crossed. That's just part of a day. Hopefully, the guys, Chris over here at DCD Customs, will get that done while we're gone, and we'll show you the before and after. And cue music.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have a problem. We have a big problem.
Well, a problem we knew about.
Let me show you such problem.
Tired of problems.
So you see this crack here? Look at this. It runs all the way over here. It runs down into here. Down, and follow it back up and over. And it kind of comes all the way down.
That is not good on a knuckle.
No, so this is a chromoly knuckle, and it is probably very used and abused.
Yes.
And if we can cut into it, weld it, plate it, and use it as a trail rig, but I would not trust this at 80, 90 mile an hour, hitting big whoops for hours and hours and smashing off huge rocks.
If this came apart at 80, 90 miles an hour,
We'd be dead.
we would be having a really bad day.
Yeah.
So what we did.
These are old knuckles. So what we did is we ordered brand new knuckles, and check this out. The new knuckles are
They're so pretty.
right here. But
wait.
if you notice,
Can someone tell me what's wrong?
Can you notice?
with the picture here?
mind you, we're supposed to be together in like a day or two. Like we're supposed to be done in a day or two. So I called up, got the Spider Trax new knuckles. I mean, look how beautiful, and look how much crazy beefier these things are.
Like,
look how
they're
yeah.
gorgeous. The issue is they're both for the same side.
Well, this one's marked driver, this one's marked passenger, but they are in fact both passenger sides.
So, unfortunately, we don't have a rig with two right feet. This isn't going to work. So now, instead of being able to put the front end together today, which was originally the plan because we have everything else that we need, we have to wait for parts again, or at least one part, because...
Yeah. So if you flip them over, you can really see the differences at the update here. This is crazy. So this is ours, just a single plain, single piece of chromoly, just the strap here, and that's where it's breaking. Look at the new one. And this thing is fully boxed in both sides. Look, this even comes all the way out to the steering arm. And then this one, look, it's missing that whole entire piece.
But still, we gotta have two different ones in order to install them up into that. So.
I mean, I am glad, but these things are like $1,100 a piece or something,
They
$1,000 a piece.
Guys, the money involved so far with getting this Ultra 4 car put back together is a lot more than we were anticipating. And we were anticipating like quite a bit, but even with the help of sponsors and partners, everything is coming out to be like 1.5 to 2 times more than we were expecting in almost every aspect.
I didn't expect to spend $2,000 on knuckles.
It's like nickeling and diming you, but on the level of thousands as opposed to like 10 cents.
La cucaracha, la cucaracha.
That's not supposed to make that noise either.
So when we pulled the knuckles apart, we found these bearings. That's what they are. So these unit bearings here are what goes in the knuckle that the bolt goes through. But this is how bad all 4 of them were on here. And then here's the new one.
Much better.
Much better.
Getting those replaced too.
Nickels and dimes. Nickels and dimes. I think we're gonna possibly need a new air filter. Look at this. This was what, 1 race and some practicing?
Did we clean it out before the area BFE? Come here.
This was brand new for area BFE.
Should we just clean that one, or should we get a
crap.
new one? Just so you guys know too, we keep this over it.
Yeah, it had a sock over it. I didn't think it would be this bad because of the sock. That's how bad the conditions are, I guess. That's crazy. No wonder the engine looked all bad. Little simple green and pressure washer? No, not pressure washer.
Not a pressure
Just a hose. And you make sure you spray it from the inside out, so you're not spraying the stuff through the filter.
Almost as good as new.
Yeah, it's fine.
Chris, what's wrong with our fuel filters?
Coffee came out of them. That is what's left over after the fuel has evaporated, and that was in these. We've already tried to clean them out. We're gonna replace one, but this one will make it.
So the fuel filters, there's 2 of them. There's one upstream, one downstream, or a
So,
pre-filter.
yeah.
This is a pre, so this one was full of like rocks and stuff, which are easily cleaned off.
This is 100 micron. You can see that looks like a screen door.
Yeah, that's 100.
And then this is 10, where this looks like it's super fine.
Tiny, yeah. And
So it first filters through the 100 to get all the big stuff out. Then it filters through the 10, and then we were left with.
This is the dirt that was left in there.
So that then goes to the injectors.
luckily, we didn't find any of that in the actual fuel tank itself,
So
which is good.
we forgot to show you the injectors when they tested them, and they actually tested out just fine somehow.
So for those of you that don't know either, we do actually technically have 2 separate fuel pumps.
2 pumps and 2 filters.
Yes. So we're gonna make sure pump 1, our main pump, is gonna run new
filter.
filters.
Brand new.
Unfortunately, we can only find 1 of the 10 micron little guys
So-
available nearby. So we're gonna replace a new one, put it in pump 1, and then we're actually gonna take the better of the 2 old ones and put it in pump 2, which should still be.
We shouldn't need a pump
We
2.
shouldn't need a pump 2,
and-
but
yeah.
it'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
So now another issue that we have is that although chromoly is strong and pretty awesome, all of our arms are bent.
Like basically every single one
Like,
of them.
and I don't know if you can tell.
It's actually really hard to tell right here, but if we take it and we move it right over here to our brand new solid aluminum arms from Rock Crawler, you can actually see just how bent and warped it is. Like that is, just roll it. You can see the main impact right there that bent it.
You can see how that's on the ground right there, how it's literally touching the ground, and then if I rotate it,
not touching the ground.
it's an inch off the ground.
So we are swapping all of our arms, or all except for our rear lower because they are slightly different. We're swapping them over to solid aluminum Rock Crawler arms. These things are going to save us weight and, again, just
Strength.
like the arms that are on the Stepchild in terms of strength and resilience to bends like this.
Look how big these are. 2 1/4. These things are
Beefy.
look.
Beefcake. One other difference are these bad boys here. So these are all FK rod ends. This is the best, strongest, most reliable.
This is what we're told, is that this is the best of the best in the business, and this is what we had to have. It's already what we had on all the arms, but the goal right now is to leave these completely set up how they are just in case
There's
anything
still a
happens.
backup.
There's still backups. Some more good news today with the crunch time we have going on. Spider Tracks overnighted us the driver's side because they sent us 2 passenger sides,
We have the right knuckle now.
So now we have the right knuckle. Also, we just got our spool in from Yukon, so that's for the 40 spline front. Unfortunately, nobody makes a like Detroit or any kind of locker. ARB makes an air locker, race locker that's super duper expensive, but then
It's literally almost 10 times the price of this.
yeah, it's expensive. It's worth it, but then you have an air pump and lines, and right now I feel like in this situation in a race application, we don't need to install more things on the vehicle right now, and this literally just bolts in. Like there's no failure point to this. It's gonna limit the turning and how it responds at high speeds, but it's a spool.
He's also a good enough driver that he can figure it out and drive around that. He can make that work. And
Yes.
it saves us money, and the install is easier.
So at this point, the fuel system's back together. Chris actually got it set up exactly how it's supposed to be. There's new bolts, nylon washers, no rubber gloves. We have the rock crawler aluminum solid links that I put here in the rear upper.
It's the
Now,
shiniest part on the
I know.
rig.
Now, we can't do it down here because this is not, as you can see, it's actually
normal arm.
It's a trailing arm.
Yeah.
So you can't weld to aluminum, so you can't build all this up. So this is still going to be just
As is.
chromoly as is, yeah.
But we've also got the front lowers installed, as you can see here.
And then I have front uppers, but
But-
they were the wrong. Somebody gave somebody the wrong measurement somewhere along the way. So the front uppers are gonna have to wait. We're gonna put those on at the lake bed. But look at this. We officially have our Atlas transfer case attached to our transmission, and now we get to attach the transmission to the engine,
Finally!
and then it gets to whoop.
So the goal is hopefully, ideally, to do exactly what we did when we took it out, which is to put it all in together.
First time wrapping headers with heat wrap, with header wrap. As you can see, this one here doesn't look bad. It's a little sloppy, but I did use a clamp here, a clamp at the end. Each one has a clamp on it, you can see in there. And then I was like, wait a second, I can do this better. So instead of putting a clamp at the bottom of each one of these, I wrapped them all individually and left a tail on all of them. And then this very last one I did last and left all of it, and I came around and just finished it off. So it's all tied into one wrap, and it looks amazing. This one looks like a third grader did it. So this is 250 weight gear oil. Usually it's like 70, 150, 80, 90, whatever, 75, 140. So basically what I'm told is you want it this thick. Now obviously once it heats up it'll thin out some, but the 250 is supposed to be good for shock loading, which this sees a lot of. High speed, hitting whoops, smashing off rocks, all that kind of stuff. This is supposed to help hopefully be like a cushion between the gears, between the ring and pinion. And I will say, I don't know if you remember us showing you the gears that came out, which was running fully synthetic 75, 140. Actually the bags are over there, but they didn't look good and they were kind of destroyed. They wouldn't have made the race. I don't think they would have actually completed the race. So we're gonna go with what the experts are.
told us to do.
Yeah. We're getting so close to actually firing this thing up, but there are still quite a few things we need to take care of.
Little things.
Little things.
Unfortunately, you will have to wait until next time to see the final official startup of the engine because it is late. We are running out of time. But guys, this is the final stretch. Once we get this thing started, we button up the rest of it. It is to tuning first and then straight to the lake bed. And then that's it. Then it's King of the Hammers time for us.
I mean, we have 0 time now. We have 0 time left.
We are running way later than we had originally planned, and this is going to be interesting. It is already extremely stressful.
But we're about ready to start up.
We're getting there.
We're ready.
We're getting there. Honestly, the next video at the very beginning, it's going to be this thing firing up. I promise you guys. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And thank you for all of the support and joining us on this incredibly stupid, incredible journey that we've put ourselves on.
And thanks to all of our sponsors helping make it happen.
This would be absolutely not possible without our sponsors, guys. Remember, you can get all your Lite Nation merch at LiteBriteStudios.com, all your Lite Nation decals at PixelDecals.com.
And don't forget to come out to King of the Hammers. I'm hoping this comes out before we make it out to the lake bed, maybe. I don't even know. But guys, come out to Johnson Valley. Come cheer us on.
Guys, we love you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.